Welcome back to my 12 boots in 12 weeks challenge, my personal challenge. And this week, well, let me not preempt that. Let's get into it. G'day, welcome back to Bootlosophy, and if we haven't met before, my name is Tech. Now, I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands that I'm filming on here in Perth in Western Australia, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. So this is week 2 of my 12 boots in 12 weeks challenge that I've imposed upon myself. I can tell you it's a lot harder than you think it is, because with somewhere close to 140 pairs of boots, loving all the boots, I am selling some of them just because I want to thin my collection. Go to my website to take a look. It is really difficult to limit yourself to 12 pairs of boots, because you walk past the boot cupboard and all these beautiful boots. But anyway, I have set myself that challenge. If you don't know what this is all about, go to my channel, go to my introduction to my 12 boots in 12 weeks challenge, and go and watch week 1. So this is a report of week 2. What did I wear this week? Well, the week starts on a Saturday. So I started with wearing the Wootten Smith work boot, Chelsea boot. If you go and watch my review of this, you'll find that I had this custom sized. It's true to size at 7.5, but I am a little bit big in the volume across here. So I had this custom sized. Since having visited their workshop, it turns out that if I went down a half size to 7, but a width up, that's also a perfect fit. So my next Wootten boot is in 7 wide. I found this a very comfortable boot to wear around the house. I started wearing it this Saturday, and I also wore it on Sunday. Not for doing a lot of huge work or anything. We did a couple of walks around going shopping in the Subiaco High Street called Rockaby Road here with my wife, and did things around the house, basically vacuuming, tidying, doing a bit of cleaning, that sort of thing. It's a really lovely soft boot to go around in. In terms of patina, I have worn this several times now. This had probably easily over 100, nearly 200 hours of wear across several months. The patina is starting to show. The burnishing, which Jess Wootten put on, interestingly is starting to flake off, because it's wax burnishing, I guess. And it's developing its own burnishing just from the wear, particularly around the sides on both left and right boots. In terms of fit, it's a very comfortable boot to sit in, to have beside your couch and pull on, like I did with the Blundstones last week. But I am finding that this Roughout leather has stretched, I think, since I first got it. So it's a little looser now. I'm glad for the 3mm little leather topped insert I've got on. And I'm also finding that I do need to wear thicker socks with this. So sizing down by a half and up a width, I think is probably the solution. I'm also finding this is a shorter Chelsea. Most Chelseas are about that high, 5 or 6 inches. This is about just under 5, I think. And particularly with this cutout here, I'm finding that this part does sometimes feel loose. It's not. This is a great fit around the instep. It's a great fit around the heel. So those two secure the Chelsea boot. But because I'm used to something gripping higher up my ankles, not having that grip makes me feel a little unsteady. It takes a bit of getting used to. After about 20 minutes in the boot, you're okay. But when you first put it on, you're thinking, ooh, I wonder if it's going to fall off. Totally secure. There's no chance of that. But you feel like there's nothing gripping you in the higher heel. Okay, so that was Saturday and Sunday, and most evenings when I wasn't traveling, I just come home from work and pull these on. The other boot that I wore almost every day is this NYX Overlander. This has become more and more comfortable the more I wear it. I think I probably put this on for about 200 hours now. Also, at the end of this week, I took the opportunity to give it its first conditioning. I used Red Wing's all natural leather conditioner. And normally I don't like conditioning waxed flesh because I think it takes away from the sort of scrapes that you get with a nap showing. I found that Red Wing conditioner really get absorbed into this leather. This Spokane Roughout is quite different, I think, from the Chrome Excel Roughouts that you get in other boots, because it's a less hard layer of wax that they put on. So when you put on the conditioner, it absorbs really well. And of course, the very first day after I put on the conditioner, I scraped the right toe again. In terms of patina wear, it's not showing much difference from the week before. I've worn this maybe 6 times this week. 5 or so times would have been walking around the neighborhood when I go for my morning walks. And the 6th time I wore it for a full evening when I was doing some work around the house, basically climbing up and down ladders to dust fans and light fittings and air conditioners. Really comfortable. Solid boot. And the patina, as you can see, despite the slight darkening of the conditioner, is starting to go quite well. A few rolls developing in the shaft. Okay, so the next boot that I wore all day was the Backcountry. And I wore this most of the day on Sunday because it's a very comfortable boot. And because I was wanting something like easy on my feet before I took off for work on Monday to travel. And this leather, this timberjack leather, oil tanned, is just so soft, comfortable, malleable. The wraparound underneath, because of the true moccasin construction, is just brilliant for mooching around. So again, not much to report in terms of patina across the week. I do notice, though, that the more I wear this, the more patchy, I suppose you might call it, in a good way, that the coloring of the leather becomes. Great one. Next, I'm going to segue to my time in Darwin, because on Monday I flew to Darwin, flew back on Wednesday. So for 3 full days, I wore this pair of boots. This segment is about this boot that I wore for 3 days in Darwin. This is Wednesday morning. I'm still in Darwin. I'm still in my hotel room. And I've worn this for Monday, Tuesday, and today, and I'll be wearing it all of today. So this is the Parkhurst Richmond, but it is the Richmond built out of the Portuguese factory that Andrew uses to make Stitchdown construction boots. This is one of the first Richmond models that came out of that Portuguese factory in a Stitchdown construction using the 618 last. Plenty of Allens have come from there before, but mostly the Richmond has come from the Spanish factory in the 602M last. So you can go and see my review on this, but this is a real cap toe, meaning that the leather and the vamp comes all the way down to the toe, and then an extra piece for the toe caps put on. It's a double row stitch down on top, but single at the bottom. So what this means is the stitch down goes through the uppers that are flared out into the midsole. A rubber outsole is glued on, and then it's stitched through again the second time up here, and then that second stitch going through to the rubber outsole. So in terms of comfort, I wore this all the way on Monday. I flew up in the morning, arrived in Darwin, 3.5-hour flight at lunchtime. I spent the rest of Monday basically doing a little bit of shopping because I'm staying in a self-catering apartment with a nice view of Darwin City and the marina. And I took that afternoon to buy some supplies for breakfast, so I'd look after myself. So walking around in the central CBD, as well as being on the airplane. Yesterday, which was Tuesday, I spent all day with my client. I was doing a workshop. I facilitated a strategic planning workshop. And my style of facilitating is to stand up all day, pacing the room and writing up things on whiteboards and butcher's papers that have a sticky back that I stick across all over the room. So that's my style of facilitation, up on my feet all day from 8:30 through to 4:30. My Apple Health app tells me that I walked 24,000 steps. But that also included a period of time when my phone was actually on the table. So I figure I probably walked around 30,000 plus steps. Comfort factor, it was really, really good. I'll be wearing this all day today as I fly home. So comfort factor for 3 days in them every day was really, really good. I have to say the 618 Last is very comfortable because it doesn't put any pressure on the ball of my feet. I've already told you that plenty of times. But what I do find with Stitchdown boots generally is that often because they lack the cork layer, my feet are pressing down on the solid veg tan insole and midsole, and it can feel quite stiff at the very beginning. I've had these for probably about 3 months now, and I've worn them, I would have said, maybe 24 to 48 times, full days in the office. So from that wear, the actual shock absorption has got better. The veg tan leather insole, veg tan leather midsole, I think have started to configure, if not already configured, to the shape of my feet. Therefore, I'm feeling it being quite gentle on the soles of my feet, which it wasn't at the beginning. In terms of socks, when I wear these with thin socks, I can feel the lugs. When I wear these with thicker boot socks, it's very comfortable, which just adds an extra layer of shock absorption. So that's the comfort factor. The patina, this hasn't patinaed a lot. I mean, it's got a few scrapes. On this other boot, you can see my right toe has got a few scrapes. Now, this has become a theme. My right toe appears to catch quite a lot of scrapes, and you see the boots as I present them to you across this 12 by 12 challenge. That toe often suffers a bit. I don't actually consider that patina, although obviously it is because it's part of the wear. What I'm looking for in terms of patina is how the leather changes. And this Charles F. Stead Roughout, it's a proper Roughout, not an English suede Roughout, is waxed and oiled to Andrew's specifications. So I am really expecting this to shine in some places where my feet have swelled them a little bit, push the waxes and oils out of place. I'm expecting them to darken a little bit in different places. And it's beginning to happen. This bit on the heel here and here, just there, that's not down to wear because I don't do a lot of things where I'm on the heel. So that's down to the pressure of me walking around, I think. It's also starting to happen along here. And some of the rolls and the way it rubs against my pants and my jeans, that sort of squeeziness of the Roughout is starting to come out. I have high hopes for the patina of this after 12 weeks, but it's going to depend how often I wear them during that time. Okay, next boot. All right, so on Thursday, my full first day back from my trip to Darwin, I wore the Grant Stone brass boots in the Earth Waxy Commander. You know, I haven't worn this for a long, long time. I did take it out on a lot of adventures, and I'll just flash a bit of B-roll of me walking around down south in the coastal region down south, just to show you that I have actually worn this hard. But then I left it alone for a little while because I'm just getting more and more boots. And so having put this on again after a long time, probably about a year since I wore this last, I forgot how comfortable it is. The mock toe last is a little bit roomier in the toes than I find the Leo last is in the diesel. That's a really great fit. Don't get me wrong, this is a good fit as well, but there is quite a bit of volume in the toe so that I find that rather being snugly held, your toes are roomy enough. Some people like that. I don't mind it. Some people don't like it. And some people say you might want to size this down by a half. I haven't. I kept my same size as the diesel boots. I also find that the patina on this is just fantastic. I mean, all Waxy Commanders are really nice, but you can see the way this patina has developed over the years. Not so much in the last week, obviously. I only wore it once on the Thursday. You can see how the patina has developed with the wax rubbing off, the nap is showing, the dark brown chocolate colored nap is showing through. There's also bits of rolls and smoothed off bits. This is just fantastic. And if I as many boots. If I limited myself to a real small number of boots, this would definitely be in the collection. In terms of easiness to wear, it's not a light boot. So you do, I think, tend to be conscious of having it on your feet. It's not uncomfortable, but you are conscious that you've got a heavy leather insole, leather midsole, and a thick commando lugged sole, rubber outsole. So the construction's really excellent, which gives you that sturdiness, but it also gives you a bit of weight. So it's fully lined as well, so that extra comfort. So then on Friday, that's yesterday, I put on these again because I forgot to say that in tribute to my friend JS Boots and Stuff, we sort of started our boot journey together, and he got a pair of these and I got a pair of these. He got these in saddle tan, and he's an accountant as well in Houston, Texas, I think. He wears his to work and absolutely probably scares the senior partners. And I don't normally wear this to work, office, but I did on Thursday, and I wore it with a pair of R.M. Williams stone-colored jeans, and they work really well. This, however, is a definite go-to smart casual for the office, the R.M. Williams Comfort Craftsman. I wore this last week. I only wore this for a day this week. I just don't know how the patina is going to develop with once a week wear, if that. So I'm hoping that this will continue. And one of the trips up north that I'm going to do, whether it's to the Kimberley or to North Queensland or to Darwin, I think I'll take this for a 3 or 4 day trip and see what that does to get some red Pindan dust on it and see how that affects the leather and the coloring of it. In terms of comfort and wear, this is a very different feeling from the classic Craftsman where it has a leather outsole. The interesting thing with R.M. Williams is it has, in this particular instance, because it's a comfort Craftsman, it has a pour-on insole, a cork filler filling the cavity caused by the welt, no midsole, straight into quite a thick rubber full slip sole, and then a stacked heel with leather stacks and a rubber top lift. So the feel is actually quite immediate, but very different from the same sort of layers, but with a leather insole and a leather outsole, no midsole. In the classic Craftsman, you get quite a different sort of feel from under your feet, immediate reaction. So really good. All right, so there you go. Those are the boots that I wore this week, week 2. And then I'll come back to you next week with week 3. So to make sure that you don't miss anything, make sure that you subscribe. And of course, if you like this video, click on like and comment if you want me to change up what I'm talking about for weeks 3 and beyond. Just give me a few comments. So until then, guys, take care, and I'll see you again soon.